welcome to Tucker Newman Coaching. I'm Tucker, and today I'm going to teach you how to break through. So, these are the 3 steps to creating a breakthrough in your life. So think, what is a problem that I've been wrestling with for a long time, that you're having trouble breaking through and becoming more on the other side? I see a lot of weight loss clients, and they've been trying all these things, these diets, they've been doing the programs, they've been doing the things, right? But they can't seem to break through. Or maybe even personally, you have this bad habit you've been trying to get rid of, right? You're trying to break through, or you're trying to make more money, or you're trying to start a relationship, right? And you're just trying to break through. How do you do it? I mean, just look in the past, kind of how when you did want to make a change, right? You wanted to lose the weight and you did it. How'd you do it, right? We all kind of know what we need to do, but we don't do what we know. This is super common. So I'm here to just kind of remind you of what you need to do so that you can do it. And then if you need more coaching and more accountability, message me and I can really make sure you do it. So first thing we need when we need to make a change is the right strategy, right? Think about it. If you've ever played a sport, right, you need to have a strategy. You can't just kind of wing it. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a plan. A lot of times I advise people on RPM planning, so you got to know your result, right? So what's the result I'm after? I want to be 20 pounds lighter. I want to be full of health and vitality. I want to earn this much money, right? That's your result. Or I want to impact people in this way. Purpose, the P, why? Why do you want to impact people that way? Make the world a better place. It's a good reason to grow, right? So there's levels to RPM planning. Sometimes we go for the big, and sometimes it's just, I need to send an email out today. So my result is to have an email sent to my client. Purpose, I want to help my client. And then the map is what I do, the to-do, the list. Now, and we want to make sure we chunk that in a way that's actionable and not overwhelming. Yeah, and that's the M, the map. So next we have role modeling, right? So if we need the right strategy, I see this over and over. Someone has already done the thing you want to do. Maybe not in the way that will ultimately fulfill you, but they've done it, right? Someone's already made the money you want to make in the way you want to make it. Someone's already invented the product in the way you want to invent it. Like, someone's already done this. There's almost 8 billion people in the world. Someone's done it. You might not know them, and if you do know them, hang out with them. Success leaves clues, right? So role modeling is critical to creating a strategy because the role model already has the strategy. This is why mentors are so important. And there's an old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you better be aware of when the teacher's here trying to teach you. So you gotta listen, right? You gotta listen. Best way to enhance your listening skills, meditation, right? When we meditate, we're going still, we're listening. We're no longer action doing, just trying to produce. Now we're in introspection, listening. This is Dr. Quiet in the 4-doctor system. So next we have just the overall science of success. Remember, strategy is very scientific. There's a lot of the inputs, outputs with strategy, right? We're using our analytical mind when we're in the strategy phase of creating a breakthrough. So strategy is so important, right? You need to have the right strategy for success. You need to have a plan. You've got to have things that you're going to do, action items that you're going to do in order to create the success you want. However, strategy is meaningless unless you have the right story, right? What is the story that you're telling yourself, right? So you get the gym membership, you buy the program, you hire the coach, you invest in everything, right? But then here's what happens. The old story you've been telling yourself why you can't do this and why you can't do that is still playing in the background, right? So we need to eradicate a negative story and start to create an empowering one, a new meaning, right? Story is the meaning that we assign to something, right? When we think of a story, there's always a theme, right? There's always a lesson in the story. So what lesson are we trying to teach ourselves, right? With the stories we tell ourselves. And one of the biggest stories that we tell ourselves is our life conditions should match our blueprint, right? So the blueprint is our view of the world. This is how the world should be, right? And then what happens is we say it should be this way, it should be that way, and we start shooting all over ourselves, right? Oh, I should do this, I should do that, right? The life conditions are reality, right? You know, I should eat healthier, but this is just, you know, my metabolism's slow. Get out of here with that nonsense. That nonsense. Your metabolism is the rate of metabolic process in your body. Speed up your rate? How do you do that? You gotta speed up. Right? And there's a lot of nuances to losing belly fat and increasing your health, which is why you hire a coach, because it takes a long time to study it, compartmentalize it, strategize, really work around all the little nuances, right? It's like, oh, I do this, I get that. It's like, not necessarily when it comes to your body. It's an integrated systems. So if you're not working on one system and you're only focusing on another system, this system you're not working on is affecting that system anyways. So you need a holistic health coach, right? But our life conditions, right, our reality, right? A lot of people I see are unhappy with their lives because they have a blueprint saying life should be this way, and when it's not, they're unhappy because this is the human condition, right? I want life to be this way, it's not that way, now I'm unhappy because we have a story we tell ourselves saying, I'll be happy when, not I'm happy, right? We always get what we're being, right? We always get the reflection of how we're being in the moment. So it takes a lot of awareness and energy to make sure that in the present moment, we're being the way we want to be. We also have a secret story that we're telling ourselves. And the secret story is the ultimate story that determines our lives, right? And a lot of times the secret story is related to our unmet need. So you see a client, they're like, no, I'm super motivated. I'm ready to go. Like, I can go to the gym. You told me, you gave me a free 2-week plan. It's time to get after it, right? Of course, right? But then they're telling themselves a secret story of, I'm not enough. And that's like the deepest story that we're telling ourselves nowadays in our society, is that we are not enough. So I gotta do all this stuff to be enough. Nonsense. You're already enough. Look at you. You're here, right? You're just a whirling ball of energy, right? Right? So you are more than enough. Doesn't mean don't grow. Doesn't mean don't give. Doesn't mean don't express love. And doesn't mean strive to be the best you can be, right? Doesn't mean that. It just means because you're already enough, now you can express yourself. Now you can grow because it's who you are, not because you're lacking something, right? So think about what your secret story is. You can look into more of that. This is Carl Jung's work, also the work of Rudolf Steiner. They talk a lot about people have this secret story that they're constantly telling themselves of why they can't do things, or my life sucks because my genetics, or my life sucks because it's everyone else's fault. That's when your life conditions don't equal your blueprint. You're gonna start complaining, blaming, and that's gonna be your secret story, right? And it's gonna be your unmet need, and usually time it's your unmet need for love because you don't feel like you're enough, right? If you don't feel like you're enough, then you're gonna be constantly trying to go with external for love when it's really just within you. And if you just cultivate the practice of loving yourself, really actually engaging with the practice of learning how to love yourself, then that story just starts to seem meaningless. And then you put a new meaning to the story of your life is, I already love myself. I am enough. And that energy is magnetic, right? Needy energy is repulsive. When you need, I need you to buy this. I need you to love me, right? You already feel that energy. You're like you push back. You're like, whoa, stop. That's a lot. Your energy is like, I need to keep the balance, right? But when someone's like, when you're around someone that's just like, no, I'm good. I got me, right? It's like, wow, I feel safe around you, right? I feel safe. I feel like because you love you, that you can love me, because we internally know that we are the universe, right? The I before we, before all is so important because it all works together, right? When we go within, we realize what's within us is within everyone else. So the more love we give to ourselves, the more love we are giving to everyone else. And it's as above, so below, right? We're a microcosm of the macrocosm. These are the spiritual concepts of the universe. And the more you think about it and meditate on it, and the more aware you are of what's happening in your reality, the more true it seems. And then the shooting. No more shooting. All right. Last thing we have, right? All right, so we get the story right? You got the strategy. All right, I'm gonna get my health right. I'm gonna improve my life. It's time to make a change. So I'm gonna strategize. And then guess what, Tuck? I even want to step deeper. I found a new meaning of why I want to create that strategy, right? I got the story right. It's time for me to make a change because it's who I am. I'm telling myself a new story. The story of my life is that, you know, I was down, but I was not out. And now I'm climbing out of the hole I dug myself into so I can inspire others. It's a great story, right? So we have the story. We're ready to go. It's time to make a change. However, motivation does not last. Motivation is like a shower. You take one shower in the morning, by the end of the day, probably gonna need another shower. Well, if you wake up tomorrow, you're gonna definitely need another shower. Why? Because it doesn't last, right? The only law of the universe that is true is impermanence. Nothing stays the same, right? We're constantly changing. We're motivated. Then the thing is, we get motivated because we're in an environment that's very unmotivating. So we know, I gotta motivate myself. So you motivate yourself. Guess what? You didn't leave the environment. And the environment pulls you back down, right? Energy always flows from the area of high voltage to low voltage, right? Like a battery. The energy is gonna flow down and then it's gonna meet in the middle, right? So if you're around a lot of low voltage people and you're very high voltage, it's just gonna keep bringing you down. So you're gonna have to constantly keep motivating yourself. That's why people hire me as a coach, because every week they see me, I up their batteries, I charge them up, I get them back up, right? Because their environment is just bringing them down. Obviously, I advise people to get into a new empowering environment so that they can keep their voltage high where they know they should and where they need to be, right? But it's a process and we work through it. And that's why we gotta make sure we're controlling our state. So state is everything. What is your state? State is your emotional experience. So if you're in a positive state, feeling gratitude, it's your state of being. Keyword being. How are you being? Are you being a positive person? Are you radiating peace, love, and abundance? This is important. And what determines our state? What we focus on, how we use our language, and how we move our body, our physiology, right? So the focus is critical, and this is why meditation is so important, but also just taking inventory of your day. What are you focusing on? What does your social media look like? Are you reading the newspaper? Are you watching the news? Are you focusing on what other people are doing? Are you focusing on what the negative things that people are saying? Are you focusing on all the negative things in the world? What are you focusing on and how are you framing it, right? So if you're framing it in a negative lens, what you're focusing on, that's going to determine a state, and then your state's going to reflect that focus, right? So find something you're passionate about and just focus on that, guess what? Your state's gonna reflect passion. Next, we have language. So how you're using your language will determine a lot too. So the language we use determines how we feel, right? Good, feel good, feel great, I feel awesome, I feel excellent, right? So the language we use, along with the physiology we use, and the focus we have, is gonna transform your life. It's 3 simple little things. So you gotta get these things right. Affirmations, language. And then lastly, physiology is so important. And this is why taking care of your health is so important, right? If your physiology is all messed up, your body, are you gonna be in a good state? If you're in pain, what's your state gonna reflect? You're in pain, right? It's gonna change your state of being. And if you just focus on that, if you just focus, I'm in pain, and then your language is, I'm in pain, and then all you say is, well, this is just the way it is, that's gonna change your whole experience of reality, right? So you might wanna reframe your blueprint. And then we also need a morning routine. I ask people all the time, what's your morning routine look like? I am relatively consistent with mine. What I do with mine is I tweak it, but I keep the framework the same. The framework's always the same. I engage my focus, I engage my language, and I engage my physiology to improve my state. So my result of my morning routine is to have a better state of being. The purpose is so that I can have more to share with the world, so I can be a productive citizen, so I can actually do the things that I truly want to do and have the time to do it. And then the map is, well, some mornings I'll do my Wim Hof, well, some mornings I'll do my Tai Chi, and most mornings right now, I'll always drink water, a little water with sea salt, I do my Tai Chi, I do my Wim Hof, I do my meditations, I read some Yogananda affirmations, I get myself in the state that I know I want to be in. So I set myself up to win my RPM plan. So the result I'm after, I set myself up to win with a great map, right? And you got to know yourself, right? It's a big quote, know thyself. You must know thyself. And obviously your health is everything. So you got to utilize your 4 doctors. Dr. Happy, what's your dream? What's happy making for you? Dr. Diet, how are you nourishing that dream? What are you feeding your body, your mind, your spirit, and your emotions? Right? We got Dr. Quiet. How are you resting? Are you getting 8 hours of sleep? Are you introspecting? Are you working? Are you expending too much energy and not bringing enough in, not enough yin? And then we got Dr. Movement. You working out too much? Working out too little? Are you working out just right? Where are you at with the balance of the 4 doctors? And remember this whenever you're looking to break through, right? 80% of all success is in here, all in your head. And a lot of it's just a perspective. It's just literally a shift in your perspective. A lot of this, the story, just change your blueprint, right? The strategy, just say who's already doing this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? And then the state is an internal game. Shift your perspective, you shift your state. So no matter where you go at in this 3-step process, you're gonna make steps towards the breakthroughs. The state is critical. Negative people don't achieve anything. That's a fact. If you find yourself in negative thinking, you're taking yourself away from your goals. And then 20% is the mechanics, the physical of success, right? You do gotta get the mechanics right, but if you don't have your mind right, you won't figure out the mechanics, right? So these are the important things to remember if you're looking to break through. I'm glad that you are here watching this video. I'm glad that you're taking steps to improving your life. It's so important right now in the world. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like this video, give it a like anyways. Leave a comment, right? Share this with people that you think would benefit from it. And if you're interested in doing a dream life vision session, hit me up. You can DM me on Instagram at Tucker Newman Coaching. You can email me at tuckernewmancoaching@gmail.com. Check out the link in the description to set up a free 30-minute session. We can go over your goals. We can help you break through any challenge that you have, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And thank you so much for taking the time to improve yourself, to make yourself better in order to make the world better. Remember, better me, better world. Thank you, and have a blessed day.